I was about 20, and I was very lost and confused, and ultimately destroyed me in a sense. Um, it, for a long time, I felt that I was evil and possessed by a demon, and that diagnosis, the guilt, of having one fed into that. It wasn't the diagnosis itself that made me feel evil. That was a lot to do with my parents and the way I was brought up. My mother was very religious, and the diagnosis just fed into that. It really was all confusion. I was young and trying to figure myself out, and I started. First, it was major depression. Then it was bipolar. Then borderline, and then I got this some form of schizophrenia, supposedly. I have had an array of diagnoses, and been a walk-in pharmacy myself. I've been at one time was on 11 different medications, and it was ridiculous. I remember my freeing moment. It was one moment. I was receiving ECTs about 6 months, and I was on all that medication, and all I could do was just lay in bed. I was being forced to go to this day program, and when I wasn't at the day program, I was in bed, just laying there, could barely do anything for myself. And this one day, I was laying there, and it was epiphany. And I said, there's got to be something more than this. I was self-harming. I made several attempts on my life. I was a frequent flyer. At one time when I was living in Virginia, I spent over a year in the hospital. Ultimately, I decided that I wasn't my diagnosis. It was a very freeing moment for me. I wasn't my diagnosis. I wasn't this evil person that people, my mother and my father and the system made me out made me feel that I was. The emotional abuse that I went through, especially from my stepfather, who also physically beat me, and I can't being really rough, and that's the way it was. He beat me. As a child, I had what I called the invisible lock on my door. I would be, he never wanted me around, so he would often just send me to my room for no reason at all. And I knew if I left that room, I was going to get beat. So, dealing with stuff like that, trauma, was there something wrong with me? No, there wasn't. It was wrong the way what I went through, and it was wrong for my family to abandon me because of that. Never did I hear, good job. I think it would have made a big difference. I don't hold on to that stuff anymore. I've learned to, for most of it, I should say, I've forgiven, and I let it go because it was destroying me. It was eating me up slowly inside. Instead of looking at what was causing me to act the way I was, the abuse and the hatred and the feelings of being evil, they drugged me up to the point where I couldn't do anything. Oh, Michael's safe now. He can't move. Got to the point where I have a little daughter, and a lot of what I've done was for her. I'm part of her life. She lives in Virginia. I live here in Mass, but I talk to her on the phone. I go down to Virginia, I see her, and I know there's going to come a point where she's going to really need someone, and I got to be there for her. If there was just one person for me when I was going through all that, maybe I wouldn't have done some of the stuff I did. Just one person to say, Michael, I love you. Every time I get on the phone and before I end the conversation with my daughter, I make sure I tell her, I love you. She's my little princess, and I know that sounds corny, but she really is. She's a little princess, likes to makeup and nail polish. And, I look forward to those weeks I get to spend with her. They're far in between, or too far, but it's rejuvenating. You know, I go down there and I see her, and I was like, yeah, this is the something more that I was looking for. You know, I'm not saying that I don't make mistakes, but I am more aware of my impact on my daughter. What I say, what I do. When I started realizing that I wasn't this evil monster that I thought I was, that in fact I was very loving. Even though as cruel as my father's been, and abandoning me and just leaving me there when I needed them the most, I think that's probably one of the worst things you could do to someone, is just leave them and you know, let them suffer knowingly what was going on. I've been able to you know, have a relationship with them just because some part of me still loves them. Same with, you know, my mother. You know, I talk to her every week. I love her. She's my mom. And I love my daughter, and yeah, love keeps me going, my heart. And I don't think locking someone up, shoving medication down their throat does them any good. Showing a little love, a little compassion,